FM, The Source.
Almost 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Hope you're doing well. A little bit rainy today. That should pass, although probably not for a day. It looks like it'll be rainy all day today, so that's okay. We kind of ordered this, didn't we, Robin? Rainy day on Monday.
Yep.
You know, I discovered something accidentally one time, and I discovered it at the tire store. I went to this tire store to get tires from my car, and I was sitting in the little waiting room with the old coffee and the bad TV picture, and I had nothing to do. I didn't have a phone at the time that you can, like now you can do things on your phone. This was before that, and it was just nice. I thought to myself, wow, this is nice. I don't have anything to do. Mm-hmm. And usually I'm running around, but when you're getting your tires fixed, there's nothing you can do. You have to sit there and wait, right?
That's right.
But There was something nice about doing nothing. And I thought, I got to learn how to do this, like on a regular basis, without having to get my tires changed. Mm-hmm. I got to learn how to just sit, right?
Yeah.
We are able to get from Florida to Los Angeles in, 5 hours, I think, on a plane?
Oh, okay.
Remember with the horse and buggy? Remember those days, Robin? We're old enough to remember that.
I know.
It was probably 3 months to get across the country.
I know. It was horrible.
But the point is, we get someplace so fast, and yet we still feel like we're rushed. It's amazing how fast we can do things. Like you order something by mail. When we were kids, allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. Can you imagine telling that to a kid today?
Yeah, exactly.
6 to 8 weeks. We want it today.
Exactly.
Right?
And they do.
All right. Dr. Oscar Segurado is on the phone. He's an immunologist, a neuroscientist. He's interested in the intersection of conventional and ancient medicine. I can't wait to hear about this. He lived through his own periods of stress and success and great sadness and great joy. Kind of sounds like the rest of us, right? His book is called Mindful Framing, Transform Your Anxiety into Vital Energy. It's an honor to say good morning to you, sir. Dr. Oscar Segurado, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Larry and Robin. Thank you so much for taking the time to speaking with you. Happy to speak also with your listeners.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling right now from Lake Tahoe, a very nice place in California.
Oh, very good.
Nice.
So can I ask you if there's a connection between immunology and stress?
There is, and that's what I've been doing for several years, working into the connection between the stresses in our lives and how they affect our bodies in every aspect, especially exacerbating inflammation in the body and also driving arthritis and even cancer. And this is something that has been shown, and the connection really goes through a number of hormones, especially one that you may have heard about, cortisol. And that's the work I've been doing, and that's why I decided to ensure that I could explain that in an easy way to everyone.
Did you say cortisol? Is that what you said?
Cortisol, yes.
Cortisol. And is that something that you use as a therapy? Is giving people, I guess, boosters of cortisol?
Yes, that's a very well-known therapy used by doctors all around the world. It's called corticosteroids or steroids.
Uh-huh.
And this is basically the same hormone that you are going to be producing when you have anxiety and stress. And when you have also inflammation in your body that is not easy to control, your doctor may even give you an injection of steroids, and they're going to depress your immune system.
So let me ask you this. If I don't think that anxiety is human specific. I think animals can experience anxiety also. And so therefore that makes me wonder if anxiety isn't a natural reaction to something. Is it not, or is it?
Is it? It is, yes, of course. There are two types of anxiety. There is a type that is called situational anxiety. And you're absolutely right. My dog, when she's waiting for food, you notice that she's really anxious.
Oh, I know.
And but minutes later, even if it took let's say 10 minutes to get the food, and she was anxious during these 10 minutes, after she gets the food, she's back to normal. If a person has to wait in line at a fast food restaurant for 10 minutes,
right,
and she or he was supposed to wait for 2 minutes. After she gets the food and eats, she's going to still be anxious because everything is replaying in her or his mind.
Yes.
So that's what differentiates human anxiety from animal anxiety.
Okay.
And when you have that over and over, when you overthink everything that happens to you, that's when you have chronic anxiety and stress impacting your body.
Oh, wow. And is there something we can do? Because we don't want that. That's obviously not good for our health. How do we stop that?
Okay, that's a very difficult situation right now around the world. The vast majority of us have anxiety or stress. We multitask and overthink. This is an epidemic. So we have to really work with our own minds. And that's what I've been thinking about for decades, applying that to myself. I went through a very difficult period of time with family situation and also a professional transition. And I decided to write everything I knew down and explain mindful framing to the world.
Okay. When we are anxious or have anxiety because of a lack of money, we can't pay the bills, we always say to ourselves, if I only would win the lottery, then everything would be easy. But yet you see people all the time with lots of money who are just as anxiety driven as we are. Isn't that crazy?
It is, absolutely. Because anxiety is not just about what happens to us. It's about how do we react to those anxiety triggers. For some people with little money, they can have a happy life because they have adapted to that. Other people are chasing money. They have expectations. They have millions and still want more money. And they are always going to be anxious. Mm-hmm. They are going to try to get more, and their expectations are not going to be fulfilled. So that's why anxiety takes place.
Did you ignore the warning signs in your life while you had your profession and your family?
Absolutely. I had my anxiety buried into my busyness. So I was so busy, I was doing so much as a doctor, as a scientist, and that I was forgetting my family, my health, everything. I had what is called high functioning anxiety. You function at such a fast pace that you don't notice that you are indeed a victim of stress and anxiety.
So in order for the book to help us, we must be first able to identify that this is a problem that we're having, right?
Yes, but I think that's an easy one. My impression is that you mentioned even animals have anxiety, and we all have experience with anxiety and the way we react. We just have to pay attention at how each of us is reacting to those type of anxieties. It can be something like having a thought that is persistent, negative, that it goes around and around over time. It can be that we notice something not in our stomach or even a skin rash. So everyone can have and has had experiences with anxiety. But you are totally right. Identifying that is first. But then you have to do something for it.
Did this affect the people around you then, since you had this high-functioning anxiety that they were afraid to even ask you to go out for a cup of coffee or something?
I think so. I think that now that I'm going back to my previous life, especially my professional life, and I was leading a team, I think that there was I was also inducing anxiety in others, because anxiety is contagious, by the way.
It is.
That's interesting.
I'm not hanging out with those people anymore. All right. So the book is giving us tools to help us out with this. Am I understanding it right?
Right. Everyone has heard about ways to cope with stress, like meditation or mindfulness practices, but there are also other ways that, unfortunately, people use to deal with stress, and they are not so good. For instance, one of them is overeating. Another one is drinking. Another one is just doing all kind of activities that are not good for our organism. And what I bring to the table here is a set of activities, more than that, even a frame of mind that is going to completely change the way you run your life. This is a very short book.
Oh, really?
It's just 75 pages. It can be read in about 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And it gives you a recipe for 15 minutes every morning. What you should do in 15 minutes every morning to frame your entire day.
Wow. Can you give us a sneak peek? Like, what kind of things would we do?
Yes. First of all, you need to find time for that, and it's not so easy. Finding 15 minutes, and you mentioned at the beginning of this call that situation in the tire shop.
Yes.
Where you had those minutes available. That's unusual. So just to find 15 minutes every morning, and I tell you from my own experience, still is difficult, although I've been doing this for years. So ensuring that you have time to think, to self-reflect, to get everything out of the way, no TV, I'm sorry to say no radio, no smartphone, nothing more than yourself, and being able to be 15 minutes with yourself is not easy. So that's the first step.
Does prayer work? Like if you're taking those 15 minutes and you're having a conversation with God or with your departed loved ones or anything like that, does that help, or is that a distraction?
It helps. I think that what I've developed is a kind of prayer. So what I've developed is something that is going to be an accompany to your entire life. So it's 15 minutes that you're going to practically repeat a number of scenes, mental scenes, that are going to go throughout the entire day with you. Praying is also extraordinarily helpful. That's why everyone does it around the world. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a difference between praying and mindful framing. Praying, when you pray, you repeat something that you have learned from someone else. Mindful framing over time is something that you develop to yourself. You are kind of a movie director.
Just do it your
You're
own
the
self.
Screenwriter.
Yeah.
Yes. And I help you drive and decide what you want to think about. There's 5 scenes that you are going to replay in your mind every morning.
And is this part of what you refer to as the emotional tree?
Yes, it's one of the 5 scenes. Let me explain you this. By the way, the book is full with beautiful illustrations that is going to help the reader go through those 5 scenes. Each scene is done in about 3 minutes each. One of them is the emotional tree. And the reason it's an emotional tree is that the book is built in a way where you can remember it over time. Because we usually, when we read books about anything, after a few days, the information that we read dissipates. This is a book to be in your nightstand and to use it to really repeat and practice in a regular basis. The emotional tree is one of the 5 scenes. And this is the way to remember how to be positive with your emotions is to think on 5 aspects of a tree. First, the roots, the fact that we have an emotional root and we are strong internally, emotionally, the majority of us are. Then how we deal with our passions, which are kind of the leaves. Then we look into how the water goes around the tree, and these are the relationships. Then we have the air around the tree, and that's the environment. And finally, all around that is the way we harmonize our emotions with those of others. This is one example of the 5 scenes that you're going to learn how to run in your mind with your mind's eye every morning.
Well, what was the turning point for you where you realized that your family was being affected negatively, and then all of a sudden you had a turning point where you realized about this?
I was extraordinarily lucky because everything happened in a matter of months. First, the very serious illness of my son, and second, job transition that after many years drove me to work as I am right now, a consultant in the immunology and the neuroscience field. And when that happened at the same time, I was really afraid of myself. I said, okay, now I have to deal with myself. And if I don't do that well, others are going to suffer, especially my family. So I had to do something, and I can tell you, in these few years, through mindful framing, I am able to feel much better. Work-wise, things go very well. And with my family, I have a completely different relationship now.
When life throws us a curve, maybe there's an accident, or maybe there's suddenly somebody who dies unexpectedly, or something just happens that devastates a family, and everybody is sad because of it. Does this kind of mindful preparation, does it make us better able to deal with those curves?
I think so, but there is even something more important than that. And this is that we have to be prepared for that. The problem is that when life throws those curves, and if we are not prepared, we are going to fail. We're going to go to this comforting approach, which could be food, drinks, or gambling, or something that is going to be distracting. Binge TV watching, all that is going to help. At the moment that goes over, we're going to be back to square one. So the key is to be prepared.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Since everything you're saying, it applies to all of us. None of us are left out of this. This is something that applies to all of us. When something like that happens in a family, and let's say you have one member of the family who's, you just know, okay, he's going to start drinking again. The other one, he's going to start going to the casino again, whatever. Is the best way to handle it to just kind of be together? Because this is what we do as humans. When somebody dies, we all get together. We just kind of sit in the same room and talk, right? It's kind of what we do.
Absolutely. I think that was my biggest discovery with myself. Others have already discovered that to have friends, family, That's absolutely crucial. So relationships, and that's why we talked a moment ago about this emotional tree, is an essential part of that. We need to ensure that we harmonize our emotions with those in others. This is one of the three mantras that I have.
Yeah.
And you talk about the immune system, because without being healthy, you're going to have this downward spiral and you can't help yourself or help anyone else.
Absolutely. Yeah. The body is a unity. We have about 50 trillion cells. And from those, about 1 trillion are immune cells. Those immune cells have receptors, have antennas, and they detect everything that is happening to you. So we have to consider ourselves like the leaders of a real universe or a world that is depending on our thoughts. So if working or staying with other people is the way to have a better thinking patterns, let's do that.
Do you know, I want to tell you a story. Years ago, when my son was young, we went camping, and the road. We decided to go on a long road trip, and after a while, it's fun in the beginning, but after a while, it's like, oh my gosh, I got to drive another 8 hours today, right? And we were in a tent, and I got up and sat outside, and there was a pond, and we had set up the tent in the dark, so I didn't even know the pond was there. When the sun started coming up, there was this fog or this haze just sitting on that lake, and there were these little ducklings that were just paddling their way through the pond, and everything was so beautiful and peaceful. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is what I should be focusing, not the driving. So what happened since then is I go back to that place in my mind sometimes. I just imagine that I'm there again, because that one moment was so calming. And I wonder if I'm doing something that everybody does. Does everybody have their own special place they go to in their mind that helps deal with anxiety?
So I mentioned three mantras. The number one for me mantra is nature, connecting with nature. And this is even one of the 5 scenes of this practice of mindful framing. You should do exactly what you just said, and I have been doing that. And this is imagining in my mind, even if I am in an ugly place, those great moments anywhere in nature. And this is also the reason why I founded a nonprofit institute called Neo-Chi Institute, N-E-O. The N means nature. The E is emotions. The O is organism. So I believe that if we pay attention to nature, the way we should connect it with that, if we harmonize our emotions and we invigorate our organism, especially our immune system, we're going to have a happy life.
I love what you're saying. You have a way of speaking that puts us all at ease. I don't know if you know that or not. Dr. Oscar Segurado, thank you for being on the air with us. The book is called Mindful Framing. I found it on Amazon. You're getting really good reviews on Amazon, by the way.
Thank you.
And right now it's number 163 in stress management. That's pretty good to be almost at the top in a millions of books. So congratulations on that. Let's see. Do you have a website you want to recommend?
Yes. Hopefully easy to remember is mindfulbook.com. Mindfulbook.com or .org. Both work.
And Doctor, where is your accent from? Where do you come from?
Spain. I'm originally from Spain, 20 years here in the States.
Oh, my gosh.
So that's why I guess in Florida, it's easier for you to catch my accent.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I want to be able to do what you can do. I want to be able to speak more than one language. I'm always amazed by people who can do that. Doctor, thank you for being on the show with us today, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
All right, we will take a little break. Be right back.
all know the importance of good health, but we may not know the latest advances in medicine that are available to us. Monday at 9:05 a.m., Bern Perez will be our roving medical reporter to tell us about Seven Hills Gastroenterology PA and Dr. Reddy. We will discuss screening techniques and more, so tune in and listen. This is more than news you can use. It's news that could save your life. That's Monday at 9:05 a.m. right here on The Source, WOCA.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump tweets, hard to believe obstructionists may vote against Mike Pompeo as Secretary of State. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee votes on his nomination today. It's just a recommendation, and Republican Rand Paul says he'll vote no. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders tells Fox and Friends,
Rand Paul should have faith in the president's decision as a supporter of his that he's making the right decision for our country.
The full Senate has the final say. Still on the loose, a man who shot and killed 4 people at a restaurant near Nashville.
Police in Antioch, Tennessee, say the number of deaths might have been greater if not for the acts of James Shaw Jr., a customer at the Waffle House who confronted Travis Reinking and wrestled away the AR-15.
Anybody could have did what I did.
Reinking remains on the loose. Police believe he still has possession of 1 handgun.
Fox's Evan Brown, the man who grabbed the guns among 4 people hurt in the shooting. He was grazed in the arm. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Hey, this is Ricky from Banyan Hill. I want to get a few things straight. First off, I like freedom. Second, I like money. Fact is, I like freedom and money, which is why I love Freedom Checks, a unique investment that can secure your retirement income without being tied down to the government. And while I'm no genius, I am smart enough to follow an expert like Matt, who showed me how anyone has the chance to stake their claim on an estimated...
Baloney. Nonsense. That's a bunch of you-know-what. You're telling a bunch of nonsense.
Baloney. It's baloney. Baloney. Baloney.
You know how frogs are so hoppy? It's because they don't smoke or have COPD, otherwise they would be flip-floppy. If you want to quit smoking to prevent yourself from croaking, come to A Better You for a good acupuncture poking. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, with A Better You Healthcare to stop smoking today at 352-615-5566. 352-615-5566.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Palm Garden announces Fast Track. Fast Track, focused assessment, safe transition. When a new guest is admitted to Palm Garden, we start with the ABCs. A is the assessment to determine what the guest needs. B is for basic care, which is excellent nursing and therapy. And C is for consistency to provide what's needed throughout the stay. Fast Track. Palm Garden will get you home fast, really, really fast. Take a fast tour of Palm Garden located at the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Friends, countrymen, tourists, and Ocalans, lend me your ears. Hey, speaking of ears, there is an opportunity for you to help feed and provide good maintenance, housing, and medical care for Marion County's rescued, surrendered, and confiscated big cats, bears, monkeys, and other disabled or unreleasable wild and exotic animals. Take a tour on Wednesdays or Saturdays of the Endangered Animal Rescue Sanctuary. Adults $20, children 12 and under just $12. Participate in the biannual Hot Cars and Cool Cats Car Show at the Nassaveras Farm at 2250 Northeast Highway 326, or better yet, become a business sponsor for EARS. Have fun, prevent extinction, provide education and awareness of these rare, beautiful, and endangered residents here in Marion County's own little township of Citra on Highway 318. Go to EARS, Endangered Animal Rescue Sanctuary, or the Tiger Maximus on Facebook, or you can call 352-266-2859 for any questions.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front-end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
One of the best things about living in beautiful Central Florida is that we get to have a garden all year long. Spend some time on Tuesday mornings in the garden with Carol Ann Baldwin right here on WOCA The Source from 9 till 10 a.m. Carol Ann will take your phone calls, and she'll even check out your photos on her In the Garden Facebook page. Grab a tall glass of something refreshing and spend an hour in the garden with Carol Ann each Tuesday morning right here on The Source, WOCA.
The Marion Civic Chorale announces their 2018 concert series. This exciting program highlights a special performance with chamber orchestra and video projection. The next concert will be on April 29th at Ocala West United Methodist Church at 9330 Southwest 105th Street. Concerts are